My sister poisoned all 10 of my children. Then she pushed me into a deep rift current tear. I died in the dark water below, and I woke up on the morning of the tide bond rite, staring at the same sky, breathing the same cold water. I lay still for a moment, let it settle. We'd arrived on the abyssal realm together, my sister Sela and I. Two women dropped into a world that ran on tide power and blood rank. The clan chief had lined up every unmated male in the coral clan. We were supposed to choose. In last life, Sela told me to take the lionfish merfolk.
Lionfish lay soft eggs, easier than giving birth.
She smiled like she was doing me a favor. She took the great white shark, the only A-rank male. What she didn't tell me was that she already knew lionfish eggs hatched in large clutches. I chose Cole. I got pregnant fast. 1 clutch, 10 hatchlings, all A-rank. In a coral clan that had seen maybe 5 A-ranks in 100 years, that was enough to make Cole the next clan chief and turn me into something the coral elders called Abyss Chosen. Sela got 1 B rank from the great white shark, then another, then 3 more, nothing better. She couldn't accept it. She crept into Cole's reef den. He threw her out in front of the whole coral clan. The great white shark ended their bond and drove her and her children into the dead current. In less than a month, all 5 of her offspring starved. I was the one who took her back in. I gave her food. I gave her warmth. She killed my 10 hatchlings one by one, and then she pushed me into a deep rift current tear. I still remember weightlessness. So this time, I was not choosing Cole. The tide bond rite was already moving. The clan chief stood at the front, arms folded, watching the males line up. Sela was beside me, her shoulder just barely touching mine. I felt the exact moment she decided to move. A small shift in her weight, a breath she didn't finish. She crossed the water toward Cole like she'd rehearsed it, pressed herself against his arm, tipped her face up to the clan chief. She looked back at me.
Clan chief.
That smile.
I choose Cole.
I looked at Cole. Cold current blood. No warmth in the dry tide. 3 months of tide sleep every year, leaving whatever female he'd chosen to manage the reef den alone in the collapsing food chain. No hunting skills. Without the coral clan around him, he couldn't even feed himself. She thought she'd taken the prize. She didn't know what she would pay. I turned and looked at what was left. A B-rank whale merfolk. 2 C-rank sea turtle merfolk. Near the back, a manta ray merfolk who had been watching me since I swam in. Brow creased, expression difficult to read. I started toward him. The crowd shifted. I thought about my 10 hatchlings, quiet and good, never any trouble, A-rank every one of them, and felt something cold and settled move through the grief. Not this time. I was about to open my mouth. A palm hit my face so hard I bit my cheek.
It's you!
The female in front of me was bonded to the Coral Clan's tiger shark merfolk. She was shaking. In her hand was a white jellyfish tentacle filament that she said she'd found in her mate's reef den.
Her tide-shifted form was a white jellyfish.
The crowd turned fast. 1 voice at the back, then 3 more. I looked past her shoulder and found Sela near the middle of the crowd. She'd practiced that expression. I was certain of it. Last life, she hadn't needed it. Last life, I hadn't stood in her way.
Oh, Lyra. I didn't want to say anything, but I did see you swimming with Leo that night.
1 sentence. Every door in the room closed at once. The manta ray merfolk stepped back. The clan chief's eyes were already on me. I tide shifted on the spot. White jellyfish, clean tentacles, full circle, every angle, nothing hidden. The crowd went quiet. I shifted back.
No damaged tentacles. That filament isn't mine.
A damaged tentacle root scar on my inner thigh. Small, deliberate. Someone in the crowd saw it. That was enough. I had spent this entire second life thinking I understood what Sela was capable of. I had underestimated her.
Out!
I looked at Sela one last time. She was holding back a smile. I turned and swam. No argument, no appeal, no tears. I swam through it with my back straight, and I didn't stop until I was outside. Sela came to see me off, like a female who had already won.
Don't worry, Lyra. There are powerful males out there. Maybe you'll find the right one. Thanks for the encouragement. Cole has a lot of stamina. Lionfish nature is what it is. Once or twice a day is just recreation for him.
I watched the warmth leave her face.
You should build up your strength. Wouldn't want to disappoint him.
I turned and swam, didn't look back. The Coral Clan's current line was a boundary of cold and warm currents meeting in the water. I crossed it without slowing. The dead current ahead was dark and unmapped, and the water was cold. She thought she'd won. She hadn't thought about the dry tide. Cole would enter tide sleep, 3 months, maybe more. She'd be alone in the reef den. No warmth, no provider, no idea how to feed herself when the food chain collapsed. She'd spent her whole life letting other people manage the hard parts. She had no idea what she'd actually chosen. I had swum this path before. Last life, I swam it in grief, with nothing to my name except a tide healer's knowledge I'd spent years building. This life, I knew where it ended. At the far end of it, there was a rift, something inside that the Coral Clan had never seen and wouldn't know how to measure. Something that had been alone so long, it had forgotten what trust felt like. He'd been close to dead when I found him. I was the one who pulled him back. I didn't make it far before I heard it behind me. Heavy strokes, low and deliberate, closing fast. I tide-shifted without thinking, dropped into jellyfish form and fled. The water rushed past, and the dead current blurred at the edges of my vision. Behind me, the blue shark merfolk wasn't bothering to be quiet. He knew what a lone female outside clan borders meant. He knew how it ended. I fled until I saw the rock face. A narrow opening in the coral, dark inside, barely wide enough to turn sideways and fit through. I went in. Behind me, the blue shark merfolk stopped. He circled the entrance twice. His strokes slowed, then stopped entirely. He cursed once, low and ugly, and I heard him leave. I didn't understand why. I shifted back and stood still, breathing hard. The rift went deeper than I'd expected. The water inside was stale and cold, and underneath that, something else. Rot and infection, and the dense animal scent of something very large. I took one more step into the dark. Something in the black moved. I stopped. My heart was loud in my ears. The smell hit me harder now. Animal. Enormous. Close. Whatever was in here, the blue shark merfolk had known. Whatever was in here had made a predator who hunted lone females turn around without a sound and swim away. I stood in the dark and didn't move. I already knew what was in there. Last life, it was the same rift, the same darkness, the same smell. I took one more step forward.